In this video, I'm going to show you 9 different streams of leads that you can use for your gym that can generate $12,000 to $20,000 in new revenue every single month. The best part is only one of these is paid ads. The rest is all organic and costs you nothing other than rolling up your sleeves and doing a little bit of work. So let's jump in. Now, here are the 9 streams of leads that are going to generate this new revenue for your gym. And I put them in relative order of importance or order of growth for your gym. Now, it's not perfect. Every gym or studio, there's a little bit of nuance, but overall, we're going to flow from the highest driver of growth for your gym or your studio down to the lowest driver of growth. So let's start. Number one is going to be paid ads, and this is going to be your primary driver of growth. This is going to generate 100 to 150 leads every single month if it's done correctly. Now, your flow, what it's going to look like is you're going to run your ad. That's going to be a lead ad. That's going to get the people to opt in. Then from there, your goal is to book a sales appointment with that person, sell them into your program. And you either frame this, you're either selling into membership with a 12-week commitment or a 12-week transformation. That is what I have found works best for gyms, especially in 2025. Now, when you do this, you need to own the conversation with this lead. So you're going to get a lead opt-in. Now, you always want to give them the opportunity to book their own appointment, but only about 10, 15% of leads are going to do that. And therefore, the other 85 to 90% of leads you need to follow up with in order to get them to book an appointment. This is the flow that I have found works best. Ask that person if it's okay to ask them a few questions. That just leads with a very soft landing. It's not aggressive. Most people say yes. Then you just ask them what's their main fitness goal, what's their biggest struggle, how much of a priority is this? And if all those things align with what you're trying to do, then you simply ask if you can get them set up for an appointment where you can talk about their goals and your program in more detail. Just like that, you have your appointment booked, and then you can meet with them and sell them into your program. High level in a nutshell, the goal of this video isn't to dive deep into each of these. We could do hours on the paid ads alone. But overall, this is going to be your number one driver of growth, and that's the overall framework that your paid ads should look like. Now, next is going to be Facebook and Instagram DMs with a little bit of an asterisk, because if you're not running paid ads, you're not going to get many DMs. But if you are running paid ads, you naturally and organically get a lot of DMs because a good amount of people, they'll DM you without opting in. So they'll see your ad, and maybe before taking action and actually giving you their name and their email, their phone number, etc., they'll actually just send you a message because they have a question. So you'll get a lot of DMs if you are running ads. You'll get about 10 to 20 DMs every single month. And what people are going to do is they're going to message you in questions. So they're going to do, that's what they're going to lead with. Now they're going to either ask, what's your schedule? What's your price? Or how does this work? That's like the big questions that they ask. Now with DMs, you need to take over the conversation, because if you just answer their question and leave it at that, you're not going to be able to mobilize or convert any of those people into actual clients. You need to answer it, but then take over the conversation. So a poor example would be if someone asks, what's your schedule? And you simply reply with whatever your schedule is, and you just leave it at that. That's not a good way to approach this. What you want to do is answer their question, but then take it over. So for example, if they did ask, what's your schedule? And you gave them the reply, then you would lead, your next question might be like, hey, what's your main fitness goal? So then you go back to these questions. These are the main questions that can drive every conversation in all of these different streams that we're going to go through. You want to find out what's their goal, what do they struggle with, and if they really want to do this, is it a big priority for them? So that's the overall framework. So same with your DMs. When you get someone write in, answer that question, but then roll right into this. The rule that I always had with my team was you always have to end a reply with a question. So you can't just reply to a lead. You have to ask a question. So you have to be in control. And that's how you can take these leads or these DMs and actually turn them into a client. Next is going to be your email list. So you should have a leads list that's hundreds to thousands of leads that you've built over the months and the years of your gym being open, and send 2 to 3 emails every single week. Make them mostly value, but have a call to action in there to book an appointment with you. And every single month, 5 people might take action on booking that appointment with you. Now, depends on your offer. This is a big one. Depending what that is, what your call to action is in your email is going to vary how many people take action. So there'll definitely be some nuance with that. But it's very easy to send these emails every single week, but a lot of gyms don't do that. So make sure that you're sending your emails. You can get a couple new clients from your email list. Next is your text messaging your old leads. I call this old lead reach out. And this is a gold mine that most gym owners overlook. You can get 2 to 5 new members just from doing this alone. And it takes like literally no work. You can even automate this whole process. Every single day, text 50 old leads with an offer. That's all you need to do. So let's say, for example, that you have an old leads list that's 5,000 people and you start texting 50 a day. It's going to take you 100 days to get through that leads list. So it's going to take you a long time. And then once you're through that leads list, you just go back and you just do it again with a different offer. So you get through your leads list with the same text message. Then once it's completed, you just go back to the front and you just do it again, but you just make your text message, you make your offer different. Here's some examples of messages that you can send to your old leads. You could say something that like, I have one spot left for someone who's wanting to drop 20 pounds, interested. You'll get a few people reply to that. Or you might be able to say something like, we're having a flash sale and unlock 5 spots for 30% off our transformation program, interested. Now, I typically don't like to discount programs. However, with your old leads, you've already paid to acquire that lead. And so therefore, there's no cost now to acquire that client. You've already eaten that up in your business. So therefore, it's okay to make a discount. When you're making discounts, when you're running a paid ad, for example, and you get a lead through a paid ad, and maybe you book an appointment, you don't want to discount there because there's a cost to acquire that client. Now, these people, you've already eaten that cost. So therefore, there is no cost to acquire these people. So you can now absorb that and provide them a discount, which will allow them to take action. I normally don't love discounts. However, with your old leads, I'm not as opposed to it because there's no cost to acquire that client. So text messages like this work really well. Now, again, you don't get a ton of people. If you message 100 leads, you're going to get 10, 15 reply to you, and then you might be able to turn 1 or 2 of them into clients. But you do that over and over again. And that's how every single month you can get 2 to 5 new members just from taking action. Next is going to be referrals. And make sure your referral program is set up as a give one, get one. I'm trying to type in here as I'm recording this video. That's not a good idea. Do a give one, get one referral program. So for example, what that means is every person a member refers, the referrer, meaning them, gets $100, and the person they referred also gets $100. Basically match this with your cost to acquire a client. For most gyms, it's around $200 to acquire a client nowadays. Some a little bit more, some a little bit less. So you can give that away with your referral program because, again, you're not paying to acquire those clients. These people are bringing them to you, and then therefore you can reward them with that money that it would normally cost you to acquire a client. But make sure your program is set up as a give one, get one style referral program. Next is comment and new followers. Here you want to message everybody who leaves a comment on your post, especially your ads. Lots of time on your just organic posts, it's going to be a lot of members, people just saying funny things, and that's okay. You still want to message them, but on your ads, people see your ad and they're a little bit more interested. So they're commenting usually is respective of what you're marketing. So you definitely want to do this with your ads. And also message every new follower that you get. You might be getting 50 new followers a month. That's basically the same as getting 50 new leads a month, but everybody overlooks that. Now, don't be aggressive, but start the conversation. If you get a new follower, don't reach out to them and be like, hey, you want to join my program? Make sure you just start a conversation. So something like, hey, name, thanks for commenting on our post, or thanks for following us. It means a lot. Are you here just for the content, or do you have a fitness fat loss goal that you've been wanting to reach? So you're just opening up that conversation and seeing if they reply. If they do reply, guess what you do? You go back and you have this conversation and you just ask them what their goal is, what their struggle is, how big of a priority for you. And just like that, you can book a sales appointment just from a follower or someone who commented on a post or an ad. So make sure you're doing this with every single one. Next is going to be your website / your Google My Business. Now, if you have a strong website or strong landing page that you've put into your Google My Business, you can generate 15 to 50 leads per month just from this organically of people looking up fitness and gyms in your area. Now, you want to make sure that your Google My Business is optimized. And once someone does opt in, it's the same process as the same ads. It's always the same process. So you get someone to opt in, and guess what you do? You're back to this. You start a conversation, you ask them these questions, then you book an appointment with that person. Next is going to be a call. You can see now we're getting down to the last few streams of leads that aren't going to bring you many leads or many clients every single month, but nonetheless, this happens. You're going to get a few people call in. Now, here, when someone calls, you want to control the conversation. Very similar to a direct message. Whenever someone is coming inbound towards you, whether they're sending you a DM, whether they're calling you, whether they walk in and start having a conversation. Okay, you need to quickly honor their questions and answer them, but then take over the conversation and control that conversation. So what you want to do is if someone calls in, again, they're going to ask some questions, make sure you answer them, but then ask them, what's their fitness goal? What do they struggle with? How big of a priority for this is it for them? And then book an appointment. And finally, we have walk-ins. It's very similar. You have someone walk in, they have some questions about your program, answer that program, ask those questions, control the conversation, and then book an appointment. So if you execute all of these 9 different streams at a high level, you should be able to sign up approximately 20 new members every single month at a price tag of $200 to $300 per month. Now, again, make sure you're either selling a minimum of 12-week commitment or you frame that as a 12-week transformation program. This is where 600 to 900, some gyms charge even more than that. And so doing this alone, if you hit those numbers, this is going to allow you to generate $12,000 to $18 in new revenue every single month. And all you have to do is put in the work. The paid ads is the only one that requires a little bit of skill from marketing, setting it up, and spending some money. Everything else is just you making the effort, putting in more volume, and doing it well. Now, I've got a free community of gym owners who are looking to scale to adding 20 new members a month so that they alone are generating this 12,000 to 18,000 in new revenue. If you want the link's in the description. It's free to join.